Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is July 4th, the year 2021. Happy Independence Day to those who live in the United States of America. Okay, I got a request to speak about Yemen and what's happening in Yemen. Because it's actually a very complicated situation. And many people, even probably Yemenis, the people of Yemen themselves, don't understand the roots of what's going on in Yemen. So you're not alone. Okay, I'm not saying I'm expert on Yemen relationship, but I'm going to speak about this small country actually. Originally, the Yemen was called Happy Yemen because of the climate, the easygoing of the people, and the economic opportunity. It was really very beautiful country. However, there are two diseases that inflicted this country. One disease, I call it vertical disease, and the other one, I call it horizontal disease. So Yemen has been crucified, the vertical and the horizontal. The vertical disease is Islam, period. Why is it vertical disease? Because Islam is trying to establish something called caliphate, which is one man rules on top and everybody must say yes sir. That is dictatorship. And if you go back all the way since the beginning of Islam, only one man ruled and everybody had to obey. Those who had changed their religion were murdered. Those who didn't agree to the religion were murdered. Unless if you are Jewish or Christian, then you will not be murdered. You will have another option, which is you pay tribute, heavy tribute to the Muslim leader, and you will be given permission to stay as you are. But if you became a Muslim and then you find that it is not a good religion for you and you want to revert to your previous religion, you will be killed. So that was the first disease that inflicted Yemen, that they accepted by force, like the rest of Arabia and the rest of the Islamic countries. They were all invaded when Muhammad started to have a strong army, and they were forced to accept his teaching. Normally, people unite when they have an idea that they like. For example, Americans, black, white, and yellow in the United States of America. The United States Constitution puts equality to all, so people suppose to unite around that constitution until we have now Islamic influence as well as socialist communist influence in America, that they are trying, like in the past, socialism worked on dividing the class between rich and poor, and they put a wedge between the people and they tell them, look, the rich people stole your wealth. This happened about 20 years ago in Venezuela. in North Korea, rich and poor. They divide the people and they agitate the poor, who are the majority, to kill the rich and take their wealth, and the whole country becomes poor after that. Look at North Korea, look at China when it was communist, look at the Soviet Union, look at Venezuela. Wherever communism sets foot, there's no unity and there is destruction. The same thing goes for Islam. If there was, they say, the Quran is our source of unity. And since Muhammad was on the earth, since before establishing it as a religion, there was always feud and dispute and fight between factions while Muhammad was alive. And right after his death, they split between Sunni and Shiite. And there is a video that I did before. I'm going to put the name of the video in the description box. I called it, the title was The Roots of Shiite Sunni Hostility. And many people actually appreciated this video because they started to learn they hear the word Sunni, they hear the word Shiite, and they don't know. So when I explained the roots, how it started and why, they got a better picture of what's going on. Because in Yemen, there is a dispute between these two Muslim factions. Sunni, supported by the Sunni countries, many Arab Muslim nations are supporting Al-Qaeda and ISIS in Yemen, and Shiite are supported by Hezbollah in Israel, Lebanon, and ultimately Iran. So in a way, it is a stage where Muslim Sunni and Muslim Shiite meet together to fight and settle their differences. And each one of them wants power. Okay? Add to that the disease of communism also wants power. Actually, communism has a lot of influence in Yemen since 1962, when President Nasser sent Egyptian forces around, I believe, about 70,000 Egyptian soldiers were fighting in Yemen to turn it into socialist country. And why he invested so much money and effort to do that? The reason was, after Egypt became independent from Britain, Britain still had lease on the Suez Canal. And President Nasser, because he was socialist, he kicked the British out, but they had foothold in Yemen. When he kicked them out, he wanted to control the southern part of the Red Sea where Yemen is. When you look at Yemen, the Bab el-Mandab Strait, that beginning of the Red Sea, one side is Yemen, the other side is Somalia and Ethiopia. So he sent many teachers from Egypt to teach Arabic and socialism to Somalia. And he sent troops, Egyptian soldiers, to control Yemen, so that he can get rid of the British and he can control the beginning of the Red Sea, so that no one will close Bab el-Mandab Strait of the Red Sea leading to the Suez Canal, so the Suez Canal can continue working, and of course it will be generating money not to the British but to Egypt. And basically the British left. Anyway, that you have now socialist communist party in Yemen working. You have Muslim Sunni, and Muslim Shia, and all of them, they work with the principle that the end justifies the mean. And therefore, if people are murdered, if people are starving, if people are in terrible situation, it doesn't matter. You have to achieve your objective. And the Muslim, they want to achieve the objective of controlling the region and have caliphate. And that's the Muslim Sunni. And the Muslim Shia wants to advance the agenda of the Muslim Shia so that they can have better control than the Sunni. And this is a dispute that it lasted 1400 years, since the moment Muhammad died. And there was a clear split between two factions. It started with two and kept breaking. Within the Sunni, you find Muslim Brotherhood, Muslim Salafi, Muslim Sufi, Muslim this, Muslim, and the same with Shiite. Okay. One thing I would like to ask, especially Muslims, when I'm not saying killing or shooting is good, but if a Muslim person is killed by a crazy person or a person defending himself, let's say a bunch of young kids are stared in Israel to throw stone on one soldier, Israeli soldier standing by himself, intending to kill him. And that soldier fires live ammunition. He kills he kills a Palestinian boy or man. You have people in all Islamic countries demonstrating, calling for justice, and the whole world stand up and shouldn't sit down again. I'm not saying killing is good, but at the same time, I'd like to ask you, you have more than 100 million Muslim in communist China, more than 100 million Muslim Uyghur in communist China, that they are in the men are working slave labor in prison for free to re-educate them in the socialist communist system. The children of these Muslim families are taken to other camps for communist education. The women, the Muslim women, the Muslim Uyghur women, in each household, each woman, the Chinese authority will designate one Han soldier to stay in the home with her. At the end of the day, he sleeps in bed with her. And many of them got pregnant and they had to abort the baby because they don't want to be pregnant from these people. If she is pregnant, she wants to be pregnant with her husband. And you don't hear about any Muslim group or country or individual standing up, demonstrating against what's happening to the Muslim Uyghur in China. And the reason here is because the Chinese communist socialist system is seeking dominion, caliphate. And the Islamic system is seeking dominion, caliphate. So they have the same objective. So if people are murdered or killed or raped or maltreated or what have you, it doesn't matter. You will achieve that objective of having one man rule, and is like a hierarchy system. The caliphate on top, and he has like normally, especially in the Shiite system, 12 people under him, and the 12 people rule like it cascades down, and until you get to the very lowest class, these are almost like machines. You do what you are told, and you will be provided with some food like they do in North Korea or Venezuela. If you get the food, they are starving. Basically, that's it. And the top people, they are eating caviar and drinking champagne and the finest wine. That is the situation, and that's why they don't complain. They unite in this. Okay? So, the Yemen now is divided. The vertical ideology Islam between Muslim Sunni and Muslim Shiite fighting, Al-Qaeda and ISIS Sunni, and even if they get rid of the Houthi, who are Shiite, supported by Iran and Hezbollah, if one of them managed to control the other or get rid of, even within the other, each faction, there is a split. Like if the Sunni take over, within the Sunni, there will be split after that between Sunni Salafi and Sunni Muslim Brotherhood, and they have to actually fight until one gets the glory, and he is or they are the leaders. So that's why I'm saying, for people to unite, there has to be a clear principle that people unite around. This principle, it was here in America, it was the United States Constitution. You can be Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, non-religious, atheist, what have you, it doesn't matter. But the freedom that it's offered by the United States Constitution helps everybody to get along. So everybody was okay until that ideology of Islam infected the United States of America, as well as the ideology of socialist communist thinking came to America, and instead of introducing the class struggle in the communist system between rich and poor, they cannot do that in America. So they actually put a wedge between black and white, or white and Spanish. So they put a wedge between races because they cannot do it between faith. Because here everybody takes his own faith. You are free to do what you want. You can leave faith or no faith. Nobody asks you, why do you do that? So because they cannot, also by class, most Americans are middle class, so they cannot divide people by class. So they resorted to divide people by the color of their skin, instead of what their accomplishment is, or how well they perform, or what good can they give to society. So this is the problem. In a summary, what's happening in Yemen, it's a problem between faith and ideology, and when will it end? It's anybody's guess. We thank you very much, and we hope to hear from you.